Yes.
How was it like when you were doing the voice for the Zoids battle announcer?
Oh, good Lord. Who knows?
We were all probably quite drunk at the time. I often are in the studio.
What was it like? It was like a job. Sorry, I was like, that's the worst answer ever.
Like a line from there?
I have no idea what he sounded like. Zoids was 8,226 years ago. I mean, I've done, I figure, like, well over 10,000 episodes of various cartoons in the world, and believe me, it's already cluttered enough on my hard drive. And I have tried to formulate C so many times. Format C. Let's see, mental floss. Mental Bismol. I honestly, I wish I did, but I do not remember what he sounded like or what he might have said.
I will make you this promise. I will be the gun of death once again. Lay down. I need some first down.
Yes.
Alright, so Brad.
Best massage in the world. Just saying. Registered. Shh.
So Brad told us that when you recorded Wolverine
Oh,
in
Jesus,
X-Men
Brad.
that you got really into character and did some of the motions. Can you do some of that for us?
Did he tell you how the whole story ends?
No, but would you like to tell us?
Brad delights in telling this story. I've seen it on the interweb. Voice acting is much more physical than most people would think it is. With the exception of Ian James Corlett, who is a genius just standing there with his hands in his pockets. You know, it's not just standing there with your hands in your pockets talking. So yeah, especially fight stuff like that, it get ridiculously physical in there. All right, I'll completely embarrass myself, because why not? My hockey team has already done that for me. Too soon. There was a dude sitting next to me on the plane wearing a frickin' Bruins jersey. It's like, okay, you know what? We know you won. Now you're just being dirty about it. So, I'm playing Wolverine, the most badass character ever to grace a comic book.
Damn right!
We've got some huge, you know, and I'm like lifting up trucks and throwing them in Sabretooth or something, and it's just like... It was the fart of a 2-year-old girl. And it was one of those things that just came in that tiny moment of time, and they stopped tape. They're like, wait a minute, play that back! Well, I now no longer have any pride or dignity whatsoever. Yes?
Is it hard to be really thoughtful with the character when you're acting?
That's a really good question.
I'm sorry.
No, I mean, it's a really good question. It's a very intelligent question. Is it hard to be thoughtful with the character when you're acting? Well, in theory, you shouldn't be. You know, depending on the character, though. I mean, because, you know, you have done as an actor, you have made your choices and done your research. And, I mean, sometimes it just comes down to just make the damn line fit his lips. Please. But, you know, you should, as an actor, of course, be always in the moment, never thinking beforehand. You've done your thinking, because people don't think in life. They do, they act, they say, they do. You know, a character like Hohenheim that I did on Alchemist. I mean, he was who is now being played by Tom Kenny, who is SpongeBob
Thank you.
Yeah, but, you know, like, he was a character whose whole sort of premise was being remorseful, regretful, thoughtful. So yes, I mean, sometimes you would, but it kind of depends on what the character itself is doing. You know, frankly, if you're on DBZ and you're 10,000 feet in the air punching each other at a ridiculously accelerated rate of speed, which the laws of physics say that your bones would snap if you tried to move your body that quickly, you're probably not going to be in the middle of, wait! Did you ever really just think, why? Why are we doing this? Can we just hug it out? Screw it! Bang! That's a really good question. I've always sort of embarrassed. I'm like, I didn't come up with anything good to answer. Yes.
You did Piccolo the best character in Dragon Ball Z, though. Why didn't you get cast as Jace from the Ginyu Force?
Why not? Thank you for that complimentary question. You were the worst Jace ever! You know what's strange about Jace? When we did the show, I made him from like, he was from Manchester. The Funimation dub they did in Texas, they made him Australian. I'm Australian. Weird. Weird. Or what? So I take it you didn't like all it wasn't, I was Piccolo, Jace, Karone, Majin Buu, Old Kai, South Kai, Dabura, Dr. Brief. I was like 40 different characters on the show in the original go-round. And they're just like, come up with another one, make it sound different, go. And my all-time favorite, and there's a trading card for him. Farmer in Field. The role I was born to play. Farmer in Field. If you see one character this summer, let it be Farmer in Field. I went off on a tangent, didn't I? I ran out of hands. Oh, good call, they're back.
What was your favorite character to play?
All of them. Honestly, all of them. I love working, I love what I do. Some are more fun than others. Some are just stupidly fun. I've mentioned some of the ones that were really a gas to do. I mean, Beast Wars was a scream to work on. For me, everyone else is like, Scott's got one of his 4-page scenes with himself. I think we're going for coffee now and see if he can finish talking to him. Like, you're the one talking to yourself now, pal. Just saying is all. Good script, good writing makes a big difference. A lot of stuff we do, we don't do so much of it anymore, but I've done, hundreds of things that, your basic Saturday morning cartoon fare, right? Something Man will save the world in 22 minutes and sell you some toys and breakfast cereal. Not a lot of joy in that. Some of the better written stuff that we're working on now is great. I like actually working on Johnny Test, it's very funny. But the anime, what's nice about it, with the exception of going, why are we always yelling on DBZ? Is going, there's a writing, there's a story arc that you can actually follow and go, oh, it doesn't just happen. It's a little bit more like working on some opera. Tune in and find out what happens next. Will Duo ever come out and say to Hero what never mind. Started it. Yes. Blood for the blood? I have no idea what he sounded like. What? Crazy. Well, that's a stretch for me. Was he kind of a human sounding voice, or was he kind of reptilian, or? Deep and warmed. I have no idea if this is what you're looking for, but this is probably as close. This is like auditioning, this is what we do. There is only one conclusion that can be made. Blood for a blood god! Thank you, I have no idea if that's what you're Nick! Yes. And that whole rumor of the gay porn is totally not true.
What was your favorite part about actually acting on stage? If there was a particular role that you really enjoyed?
There's a bunch, actually. I mean, I'll still do stage when I can. And, film and television, I've done a bunch of stuff. I just did, like, Sanctuary and Supernatural. And what did I just work on? I just did a wrestling movie with Ricky Schroeder. I got to be the ring announcer.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is actually work I was supposed to be doing today, was overdubbing that dialogue. What was it? I mean, theater is very different. As far as, the differences between theater and film and television acting are much greater than the differences between theater and voice acting. Because it's the same freedom. The last play I did in Vancouver was a show called Easy Money. It matters not what it was. I played 14 different characters in that show. And it was like, 8-second complete changes. I went from Joan Rivers to some old Borscht Belt comic in like 18 seconds. You had a team of like 6 people breaking the weights. I'm like, what can we do? I kind of get to do what I do in the studio, except there's actually somebody watching. Generally I like being in the studio because this kind of thing of sitting up here terrifies me. I'm fairly shy. So, but you get that same ability to really create characters rather than, film and television. It's like, they really loved your audition, but your hair's 1/8 of an inch too long, so we just can't use you. Great. And it's sitting around for 16 hours. And you get a very immediate response, actors like to hear applause. It tells us that people like us. And there's an energy too. Thank you. Okay, I was totally not fishing for that. I was totally not fishing. Thank you. I mean, it's, wow. It's really gratifying. This kind of thing, for me, is amazing because what we do in the studio is the most anonymous job in the world. You could walk past the buildings, it's the same in LA, you could go down Burbank, you'd never know that, that's where they record, that's where it's just little buildings. And we go and we do all this stuff and then we go home, and I take out the garbage. My neighbors think I'm a drug dealer. That's an honest to God true story, because I got some, house and some nice toys and some fast cars, and I don't seem to work a lot. He keeps very irregular hours, and we hear stuff coming out of that house that is ungodly.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Put it this way, I leave my Harley parked on the street unlocked, and I will often leave my doors open. I live in a big metropolitan city full of crime. They don't mess with me. If only they knew, it's like, I'm a children's entertainer! And I have a studio in my house that's not well insulated, so they do hear some very strange things going on. And I just derailed myself. Where was I going with this?
What it was like to work in theater, and what was your favorite role?
Well, so, this for us, I'm sort of tangented a bit, but, to come down to a convention and suddenly get a chance to meet you guys and have you go, we like what you do. It's like, wow, it's so cool. Favorite role I did was a thing called Hollywood Mike from a play called The Rhythm of Torn Stars. It will mean nothing to anybody here unless you've seen it in LA or you've seen it in Vancouver, and those are the only 2 productions that were ever done, but it was this thing of New York City street junkie poetry, and it was all written by real guys, some alive, some dead, and they amalgamated into the show, and it was just really cool. And it was like artsy and satisfying and stuff. What I really want to do is I'm just biding my time until I'm 70 years old, and then I'm going to play Prospero in The Tempest, and then I'm going to die happy. That's like my favorite Shakespeare, my favorite role. Yes?
You ever worked on a role and then discovered it was a lot more popular than what you would ever consider?
Yes. That would be all of them. Honestly, we go into the studio and, there's no way of predicting. Is this going to be any kind of a hit? Well, basically, we just look at, is it going to get picked up for another season? The first con I went to, I was flabbergasted. It was a BotCon. And, people were turning to me in tears. This was just after Dinobot had died. And people were, going, oh my God, and I'm like, wow, what? Because each job is pretty much the same kind of feel for us. We're like, we make it as, hopefully as good as we can make it. And sometimes you do get a vibe. You go, wow, the writing on this is really good. And, and this is certainly fun to, but we have no way of predicting. It wasn't until I came to a con that, it's like, Gundam Wing was one of many, Inuyasha, Inuyasha, I'm lying a little bit. That was a little more contrived. Toshi, the producer, had a plan with that. But yeah, it's a shock and a bit of a crapshoot. And then it's 2 years later, and then you go, oh, geez, maybe I should have tried a little harder. It's getting all very serious in here. So we're going to adult things. Very somber and serious too. Yes. Oh. Okay, so you're pointing at him, and you're pointing up, so that you guys have to stop doing this. My brain is really small, and it's really confusing to me. Yes?
Let's make me apologize. What is your character in Johnny Test? I didn't know that.
In Johnny Test, I am Mr. White.
Woo!
who coincidentally is black, and I did not know that when I got the role, which was really weird. Because it's the beauty of voice acting. I am officially the hardest working black voice actor in Canada. I got fired off the show by a guy in England once. And he was not, the character sounds to be like, no, like that, like it's like. And we had people on the phone from LA, New York, and Vancouver, and other people in London who had met me going, listen, Finn, he's many things, Mr. McNeil, but he is most probably, certainly not black. And his response was, listen, we here in England watch more American television than any other world. I think I know black when I hear it. And he fired my ass off that show. 400 years. So, where was I going with that? It's like nowhere makes you.
No way.
It's really shiny and good and tasty, and I mean, it's pretty. Did I answer that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yes.
What was your most awkward Yowie question?
That one?
The most awkward. It's called Yowie. I remember the first one, because I had no idea, I'm doing a panel and, people are being awesome and bringing me artwork, and I'm going, well, being a serious voice actor, thank you. It involves doing a lot of, there's always clouds and angel wings. It's so pretty. It's not like that. Prison, Yowie. My most awkward. Well, put it this way, I've had some awkward will you marry me moments, and you can fill in the blanks on that one. Excuse me, Mr. McNeil. Yes? Will you marry me? Not that there's anything wrong with that, and I want to be very clear and very specific. Usually it just means, do you want to see my Yowie? Sure. I don't know where they got the melon from. What's the monkey for?
Is that even possible?
Yes, only in anime. That's not even getting into hentai. I've done some stuff in shows. I mean, we talk, it's always, Gundam Wing and blah, blah, blah. God. Black Lagoon was fun. Because we got to delve deep into the forbidden word vault. You're like, this is not nice things. This is not Pokemon stuff. I did really early on, I did a thing called Ogre Slayer, and it was like, oh my god. Like, that makes even me a little queasy. That shouldn't be done to people in that way with that part after you've done that thing. I don't care how many times.
That's what she said.
Yeah, Pikachu. I'm not ignoring you, but just we're going, yes, put them on here, and then we'll come back. I promise we'll get to it. I have no idea. I have no applicable life skills at all. I am what the government defines as utterly fucking useless. So...
Insane asylum?
Yeah, I would probably be locked in a small padded room and spend my days screaming. I already do that for a living. So, a few things. I am not completely useless with my hands. I have just did a big addition on my house. I am landscaping. I wanted to be a marine biologist, actually. Then I found out you have to, get wet and look at fish. Well, this is totally not what I wanted. No. I don't know, that's like asking me what I'm going to do when I grow up. Who knows? I think I've passed the point of no return. They say if you don't grow up by the time you're 40, you don't have to. Yes?